Hello and welcome to another episode of Spooky Streets. Today's episode is going to be about the haunted Orabi district in the outskirts of Cairo. But let me start off by asking, have you ever been to a place, walked down a street, or even drove past an old building and just got a bad vibe? Well, this spooky street in Orabi has horror movies written all over it. A street with no lights, no cars, nothing but massive abandoned mansions and a lot of stray dogs. I first didn't believe the rumors about the street until a friend and I decided to go check it out ourselves. Being in the area just felt weird. Very dark, very quiet, with an occasional bark or howl and sometimes distant scream-like noises. I would just assume that it was the wind, and maybe we're just paranoid because of the stories we've heard. But a couple of minutes later, a car literally appeared out of the blue and we crashed. A very uncomfortable feeling then took over me. As I went down to check up on the cars, the man's rear bumper had fell off completely, and our car's front lights were broken. The man came out of the car and stared at us with lazy eyes and a weird smile, and when we talked to him, he wouldn't answer. A few minutes later, he just got back into his car, and he drove away without his bumper.
We had heard the story about the haunted house in the streets of Orabi, where apparently weird things went down. People had died, people had gone missing, and now the house was left abandoned. So, naturally, we decided it's a place we should go and visit. As we drove there close to midnight, we approached this scary-ass street where apparently lots of bad things happen. We knew it was stupid to go there in the first place, but we thought, why not give it a shot? And out of nowhere, we crashed into a car that came out of the darkness. This weird man comes out, smiling in the creepiest way, looks at us without saying a single word, gets back into his car, drives away, and his car is swallowed by the darkness. We're still left there in the middle, surrounded by the aggressive stray dogs with no signal, and all we can hear is the wind of the winter night. Of course, we were creeped out and we were scared. It was one of the scariest experiences. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know where we are, and even more, nobody knew that we had left. So we continued driving, trying to find our way out, quiet and shock and silence between us. Overall, it was a pretty bad idea to go there and something we wouldn't do again.
However, this was not the only incident that happened around these streets. Zaki, a housekeeper that works in the area, has lots of stories about how this place just brings him general discomfort and fear.
بس إلا الشارع ده والنبي أي حاجة إلا الشارع ده كلاب هناك شرسة يعني كلاب متغذية شرسة كده مش عارف بياكلوا إيه ولا لاقيين أكل فين. أنا عندي 65 سنة على فكرة شغال في المنطقة هنا بقالي 40 سنة بيقولوا لي مشوير تعدي للشارع ده أنا بروحش يا باشا.
Malak, a girl I know, used to live in this district with her family when she was younger, but her family suddenly decided to move and left all their belongings behind in the house. She believes it was because of how uncomfortable it was living there. She recalls having regular nightmares when she lived there, and she would always feel like there was someone watching her or something watching her.
It was a weird time in my life. I was very young, but I vividly remember vases randomly falling and breaking when there was literally nobody in the house and all windows were closed. I always felt like there was somebody watching my every move. Sometimes I was even scared to go out and play alone in my own backyard. I had literal daily nightmares. Usually someone would be chasing me or there would be loud screams at random parts of the day. I'm very grateful that we ended up leaving this place, because as soon as we left, all of that stopped. No more nightmares, no more breaking vases, nobody following me. I wouldn't want to go back there.
Nobody really knows what goes down in that street, whether it's crime, drug abuse, evil spirits, or hallucinations. Orabi district is a mystery that will never be solved. But one thing I know for sure that I don't want anything to do with it. And that's a wrap on today's episode of Spooky Streets. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast to be able to listen to upcoming episodes. Thank you all so much, and take care. Stay away from Orabi.